First of all, let me say that Bitrix24 itself is a collaboration platform. It is a social intranet with a CRM and many other communication tools. We have the traditional intranet tools here, like HR functions, calendars, documents, as well as tasks and projects. I'm putting workflows into this category because workflows kind of relates to everything, but it certainly relates to all of these pieces. There are a range of communication tools, including mobile apps. That's for iOS as well as Android. There is an internal web messenger that is very powerful. It supports chat, group chat, audio and video calls internally, video calls up to 4 people. There is an app store in applications. If you are an administrator, you will be able to see the various applications that are available for Bitrix24, third-party applications. Telephony is very tightly integrated. We will be talking about that quite a bit. And Bitrix24 does offer a mail service separately. This is not actually in the intranet, but you can use a mail server that is free from Bitrix24 and set up email accounts for your users inside from your Bitrix24 instance. Then we have the CRM. Obviously, the CRM is the reason that many of you are here. The workflow module applies to the CRM as well, so you can do things like auto responses, automatic assignment of leads, all manner of things like that. And of course, we will be talking a lot about that. Now, what I want to do next is I want to talk about some of the new features that we've got. We've had a few additions to the product in the telephony, in the area of telephony, as well as in the CRM, and we are going to have substantially more in November. First of all, let me give you a very basic overview of Bitrix24 telephony. You can call people from your CRM, you can log those calls, you can record those calls. Incoming calls can be received because you can rent a phone number from Bitrix24 and receive, of course, as many lines, receive as many calls on that as you need. You can rent multiple lines if you need, and if you need to set up a SIP connector where you're actually using, a separate voice over IP service, you can do that. So essentially, Bitrix24 can operate as a virtual PBX for your company. You can, and we do, have clients who have set up call centers using Bitrix24. Now, in the CRM, this is just a quick screen to give you an example of what this would look like. A call comes in from a number, the CRM recognizes that number, and it gives an operator the option to answer, and it shows, provides links to the various parts of that lead, the activities and that contact. Now, this is the new stuff. This might not look all that exciting right here. What we are looking at is the settings for a given telephone number that has been rented and is available in this particular instance of Bitrix24. So we set up that number, we put in whatever settings we used to have. Most of this stuff has been in Bitrix24 for quite a long time. Okay, but as you can see here, we've got this new lead source. What that means is if a call comes in from an unknown number on this telephone line, then we know that it is, in this case, from the website. Okay, and that information will show up when the call comes in. Okay, so obviously there's a big difference for your operators if somebody is calling on the regular website telephone number and basically is just a regular organic customer, or if someone is calling from via a different number that you have rented in response to an email campaign, for example. Okay, so it makes a world of difference for the operator to know where the call has come in from, and now that is available. Also, there are a few other features that are available in the telephony. Unlimited recordings of calls, that's in advanced telephony, so this is in the paid plans. The free plan does allow recording, but only 100 calls per month. Source identification, we just talked about that. Incoming calls can be routed to all available employees, meaning that the call can go to the whole queue that you have, so that you will get the fastest possible response. Okay. And also, you can set the responsible person for the lead when the call is forwarded. So if somebody picks up the phone, they're responsible for that lead now. Possibly an incentive if your people are working on commission, but also just a convenient thing so that people know who has handled the initial contact with that lead. The CRM also has advanced features now, including duplicate search, the change history. You know what? We can actually go ahead and skip this, because I will show it to you on our website. Let's go ahead and go to the website. I've got a small problem with the webinar stuff is in the way. Okay, so here on the Bitrix24 site, here is the pricing, and here we see that we have a new plus plan. Now, the most important thing about the new plus plan for some of you is simply the fact that it supports 24 people instead of the 12 people that you had in the free plan. For a lot of companies, that's just going to be it. That was too many, and that's enough. As you can see, it's only $39 per month. So we're talking about less than $2 per person per month, right? And then, of course, the standard and professional remain unlimited in the number of users you can have. 24 gigs of space here. You can buy more space. And then here I've got the full. Here, let's put this over to just the differences. Okay, there are a few differences here that we talked about already. And then in the telephony, there is a call quality evaluation. That is a question, a survey after the call ends, so your customers can give you feedback. And then the call source, I mentioned that. Okay, so and then also there are in the CRM, the CRM has an access and history restore, access log. I'd like to put a little asterisk there, because there is still a history report in the free version, but there are some events that show up in the paid versions. For example, if somebody exports your leads as an Excel file, for example, then they will that will show up as an event here, whereas it would not in the free version. And then, as you can see, coming soon, we will have a progressive dialer. Okay, so that, once again, that is the free plan that is available now. It is also available in blocks of 6 months or 12 months from a Bitrix partner, if you are working with a Bitrix partner. So now let's go into Bitrix24 itself. Here's a question in the meantime. Do you have a presentation about all the features of Bitrix instead of this? That can be requested, yes. When you open up Bitrix for the first time, you see a front page that has an activity stream down here, my workspace over here, several gadgets or widgets, whatever you would like to call them, over here that give you a summary of, as you can see, workflows, tasks, and importantly, a search box at the top, and then of course the personal profile. Now, you see up here, I've got a clock in and clock out. That's only available in the top version, in the Pro version. But there is a daily planner, and you can set new tasks right from here. Quick task right now. Okay. And that will open up, and I have a task right there. It's task number 1930, and I can start working on that task right from there. The same is true for calendar events. I can put a calendar event here for today, just mark it like later today I'm going to be doing this, and I can, if I mark it that I'm out of the office, that will put that event onto the absence chart. Let's take a look at the activity stream here. This is a very powerful instant content sharing tool. Obviously, you can start a discussion very easily here. Start discussion. You can choose precisely with whom you wish to speak. Individual users, groups, departments. Okay. You can come over to your Explorer and just drag a file onto the top of that, and you will now be sharing that file with these people. Okay. You can choose where to save that file as well. The default is my drive, which is the document library, my personal document library, or I can save it elsewhere. I guess I can choose the folders and then select current folder. There you go. As you can see down here, you can also select documents that are already in Bitrix24, and you can download. Okay, that would be to say import from OneDrive, Google Drive, or Dropbox. Let me make a note right here. If you use this, you are bringing the file into Bitrix24, and it will be saved there. Okay, you are not syncing up with this. And then you can also create and edit documents in using Google Docs or other tools, depending on what you have. These messages can be things like appreciation. Okay. There are also polls and announcements. I'll go ahead and make this an announcement just to show you what that looks like. As you can see, there are also events. You can create an event right from here, and then the various administrative processes. These can be customized. I've actually got one of those down here a little bit further. Here you see my announcement came up, and it also came up over here. And if there were more than one, I would be able to scroll through that, and then I can simply mark that as read. Okay. Now, if I refresh the page, or if I just hit that button here, it starts tallying who has read that document. There are other ways in Bitrix24 to confirm that people have read documents. Here you can see I've put in a request to purchase a car. Okay, that's what those processes are. Those processes are customizable workflows that you can actually create yourself. We really don't have time to go over that, but they come from down here under Company, Administrative Workflows. As you can see, we've put quite a lot of them into this particular demo. This is our main demo here. It'll look a little bit better if I put this back to make this a little bit smaller. And you can choose whether to show them in the activity stream. All right, here's a purchase request. I'll just open this up so you can see what this looks like. It just looks like this, like a list. Okay. Now, if you don't have permission to see all of this stuff, you will not see it. Okay. I am, my guy is an administrator, of course, so I can see all of this stuff, and I can see, what has been approved, what has been rejected, etc. And all of this is configurable, and then the workflow, the flow chart, and the modeler is right here. Let's take a look now at work groups, because the tools that appear up in my workspace and the tools that appear down here in work groups are very similar. Each work group has its own set of, intranet tools. So it has an activity stream, it's got its own files, it's got a calendar, and then some other things. These lists are only available in the Pro version. They're very much like the administrative workflows, in all honesty. Now, I will get to these questions, but like I said, it'll have to be mostly at the end of the webinar. Thank you for asking these questions. They are good questions for the most part. So let's take a look very quickly at the calendar. I'm better off showing you my personal calendar than the calendar in the group, simply because I have more data. As you can see, I can create, I've got my own personal one, I can create other ones, I can bring in my Gmail calendar, my Google Calendar, okay, I can sync that up, and if I sync that up, I can choose what calendar to put, this event on, and if I choose Gmail, it'll go out to that Gmail calendar. Okay, I can choose to put my tasks, to show my tasks or not. Okay, probably need to do that because I got nothing else out here. This will show any tasks that belong to me, including tasks created from the CRM, etc. And then I've got all of these favorite calendars. This means that these people have shared their calendars with me. Here's one from a group. Okay, and I can show those calendars on my calendar grid, and this will actually follow me. This favorite calendar section will actually follow me around. If I do, for example, open up the calendar of the group, I can look at the group calendar here and also choose what favorite calendars to display. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of demo data here to show you, but I think you get the point. Inside the groups, well, here, let's go back to the front page again, because the important thing about the groups is you can choose the exact set of users that you want to have in that group. They get different roles, members, moderators, and owners in the group. So an owner in one group might be just a member in another group, and vice versa. So somebody might be in charge in one group and another person would be in charge in another group. Oh, here was a question about calendars. How do we share calendars? You simply hit the button right here, edit, and you put access permissions and you share it. Okay, view or hire lets them put it in their favorite calendars. Okay, so with these roles, you can choose, for example, with tasks. Okay, inside this group, who should be allowed to create tasks? Okay, let's say only the owners and moderators. Okay, editing tasks, deleting tasks. Okay, and so this can all be done by, well, if I had lists, each individual list would have its own thing. Access permissions for the calendars are there. Here's the conversations. Okay, so creating posts, creating messages, creating comments, moderating. Okay, so you can create a group where you have pretty strict moderation of the stream, and then you can have another group where people are perfectly free to speak their minds. Okay, so this is, I would say that the conversations and the tasks are the likely the most important place where you might apply the access permissions for members, moderators, and the group owner. All right, so let's take a look at the personal tasks. Very quickly, you can see I've got several personal tasks. Any task that is associated with a group is put into a section that marked for that group. I have different filters up here at the top. Okay, so these are the ones, as you can see, I'm responsible, and I'm showing everything that's in progress. Okay, and then I can, I can sort by who created them, or I can just put in all the ones where I'm responsible, meaning the ones that I've already done. Can you create tasks for other employees? Oh yeah, of course. In fact, yeah, you can create you can create a personal task for other employees anytime. Inside a group, there might be limitations on that. Can you show us the projects tab? Well, not really. I mean, well, again, I can, of course, but all the projects task does is it lists all of your tasks according to the work group. Okay, work group and projects is synonymous in Bitrix24 for better or worse. So I apologize for that if you were envisioning something else. I'd like to mention very quickly these play pause buttons. All right. I'm working on that task now, and it's logging my time. Okay, and now I'm working on that one. It says, well, you were working on that one. Are you sure you want to switch over? I say yes, and now I'm working on that one. And that will show up in the reports. Okay, when you create a new task, track time spent. That's what makes the play pause button show up right there. And then you can also put in an estimated time required. You can put in a deadline. And you can also use the full task form, and you can do your time planning. You can actually set a start date. You can say, look, this is your task from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Okay, it's not a task for any other time. You have to be doing this from this time to that time. That would be done in the full task form right here. There are a large number of other things in the tasks, as you can see. You can add it immediately to the daily planner, which shows up right here next to your profile image. And there are checklists, so that you can step 2, step 3, so that you can see what's going on. You can put observers and other participants. There are participants here. Okay. Whether or not you can view a task depends on your relationship to it. If you have assigned it, if you're responsible, if you're a participant, etc. You will not see tasks if you have no relationship to them, or if you are not the supervisor of the person who has the tasks. Supervisors can see the tasks of their subordinates, and that for multiple levels. You can repeat tasks, and you can also associate them with CRM items. You probably will not do that from here. You probably would create those tasks directly from the CRM. We will be recording this, yes, we are recording. So the task, that's a crash course in the tasks. The overview, let's just take a look at the general report. I'll just open it up. This reporting engine is, as you can see, can be edited. I can choose what columns to put in here. As you can see, this particular task simply shows me what tasks are in what status, okay, their names, who's responsible, and then here at the bottom, it adds them all up. Time spent, estimated time spent, okay, and then it also has a filter. So I can filter for the responsible person, contains white, okay, just like that, and that will that will drop out, anything that's not dating white. Okay. If you edit this, you can edit what's here. You can edit the conditions, like you could say responsible person, contains or starts with, or tags contain, everything over here can be changed up by editing the report, and then of course the columns as well. I'll show you that very quickly. Probably won't look like a whole lot to you at this point in time, but here you see columns. I can add columns, and here you see in the filter, and I can, just by clicking there, I can select yet another field here. Okay, so, and that is also, it's important to look at that, because we have basically the same type of reports in the CRM, which of course is going to be extremely important for you all. Is it possible for a head of department to see every open task? Inside that department, yes. Okay. If you are not, if you're talking about the tasks of people not in your department, no, unless you make that person an administrator, okay, and you go into admin mode. And when you go into admin mode, you can see everything, okay. But let me make a note of this. In Bitrix24 Cloud, all administrators are equal, meaning that an administrator can make somebody else an administrator can remove the administrator rights from other administrators with the exception of the first user. Okay, so we've gone through work groups, we've gone through the tasks, and let's take a very quick look at the documents, because this is important to a lot of you, I'm sure. One of the main things I'd like to say about documents is, oh, here, let me exit administrator mode, indeed. This is what my drive syncs up with the Bitrix24 desktop app. That means that you can have local copies of the files and folders here and work on them offline, and then when you get back online, they will sync up. When you are working in this, you can, as I did before, you can just take a file in here and drop it, and it'll show up right there. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. As you can see, I've got some of my folders from work groups in here. Okay. And you can have as many folders as you want. You can have as many folder levels as you want. I can edit right from here. Oh dear. Here, that's the one I want. Okay, so I can edit and do Google Docs. Simply by clicking on that. All right. Okay, and then to save that, I just hit save right there. Okay, and there you see it. All right, so and that will show up in the revision history. Are your documents saved on your servers, or do you just facilitate the sync process? The master copy is saved on our server. Yeah, I mean, they're so your local sync. If you're offline and you edit it and then you sync back up, it'll look for when you made those changes and then apply them as applicable. So here you see the revision history. Okay, here you see that there was a modification on the 8th of October. It is 8:00 p.m. where I am, so that is correct. And here you see one from back on the 16th of whatever the 7th month is. July, probably this year is that. And I can restore that if I so desire. All right, so it is the top of the hour. The top of the hour means it's time to start on the CRM. One thing before we do that is I'd like to show you the absence chart. There are some pretty useful things under the companies section. Some of these things, like down here, are available only in the Pro version. But the absence chart, not the absence chart, sorry, I don't want that. I want the company structure. The company structure, this is where you can, obviously, this is great for people who are just starting off because they can see, you know, who their colleagues are and what they do. But also the CRM access permissions are based on this, meaning like, well, you can see, yeah, I've got sales here, right? Here, let me expand that a bit. So I've got like 2 sales teams here. So this is kind of a group, and this is kind of a group, and you'll see that I'll show you how that works in the CRM. But just keep this in mind. You can, you know, these things, it's very easy to work with this, move people around. But keep that in mind when we're talking about the CRM. So moving into the CRM's got a couple of modules that are convenient for when you're first opening it up. The stream is useful because, for example, you know, saw these people at the, you know, at whatever, the seminar on Saturday. Okay, I can just make a note. If you just want to make a note and you know that it was that guy, okay, and then there was somebody named John. Half of my people are named John. I like that name. You know, you can just make a quick note right there. I don't know, anybody in it? Yeah, there. And then you can also make sure that you're, you know, that gets called to the attention of those people. Okay, so this, I say, look, I saw these people at the seminar, you know, whatever that means. I mean, you know, presumably that would be meaningful to my colleagues. Okay, and then if I open up that contacts detail page, you see that right there in his stream, I saw him at the seminar on Saturday. That's not the first time I've seen him at the seminar. Okay, so the stream is very useful for that. You don't have to go in and look for anybody. You can just start making your notes and then choose to whom to apply them. Now, please do note that well, here's silent. Okay, it's easy to find people in the CRM. Okay, it's easy to find people pretty much anywhere because this thing indexes nigh unto everything. Okay, not absolutely everything, but almost. So it's really not hard to get where you want to go in the Bitrix24. Activities, this is where you're going to find out what you're supposed to do today. Okay, this is a very useful thing because it tells you here, my current activities. That's what I use. Okay, open up my CRM, I look at my current activities, and I can see, you know, I'm supposed to call this person, I'm supposed to have this meeting, I'm renting a boat, and this is, you know, I sort it by the deadline, and I know where I am, what I'm supposed to be doing that day. And obviously I can open up these contacts and get the full context of the relationship with that person as it stands right now. Okay, so this is kind of a daily, this is something that your active salespeople will use daily. If you're not a salesperson, you're probably not going to be using this tab very much, this section very much, because, you know, it's just, you know, this is for what's going on now. So the CRM in principle is supposed to take your leads and help you move your leads to the point where they are a contact, and then develop that relationship, and with the result of deals being reached. So we'll go ahead and start with leads. Some of you won't really use leads very much because by the time you know somebody, you know that they are interested in what you've got. Okay, but if it happens that you get, you know, a list of 100, 200, 3,000 names, this is where you would put them into the leads. If you had a list of 3,000 names, you would import them right here. Okay, as you can see, there are some export possibilities, and of course, anywhere in Bitrix where you see something like this, if you just click around a little bit, you'll see that you can, configure the table the way you want to. That wasn't what I wanted. I wanted all open. And there are also filters here. These filters are also configurable. Okay. So I can say anyone with the last name of, you know, Hoffman. Right. So that, this interface style is pretty much everywhere in the CRM of Bitrix, and also in some places outside the CRM. Okay, very common outside. All right, so we, as you can see, I've got this person on auto processing. That means I've got a, in that actual situation, that means I've got a workflow that is sending emails to him. That's just something I set up. So like every 2 weeks, an email gets sent out to remind him that he needs to make contact with me. Right? Let's open up the detail page. The detail page has the important information of the lead here. What's important? Well, in my case, shoe size is important. In your case, maybe not. Using this thing, I can pull up all of the information that I've got. Okay, well, I can hide some of these things because I've got a lot more fields here than I really need to show. And I can move something from here to up here. Okay. So now I've got the phone number and I can call from there. Right. So from this interface, as you can see, I can call, I can send emails, I can use email templates that I've set up, including ones that pull in information from the lead. That's available for everything. I can see what activities have gone on. I can see what products he's interested in, perhaps. Now, if I get to the point where he's already looking at specific products, maybe I need to convert him to a contact. That just depends on your own personal, your business cycle, your sales cycle. Where can you see a list of open opportunities? Okay, so that would be, it depends, but that would either be filtering the lead, you would either be filtering the leads for, all open leads, okay, or you would filter the deals for some stage like that. In activities is all open, not available in the free version. I'm not sure. We'll have to take a look at that more closely at the end. So let's get back to my lead here. So I can manage either my automatic or my personal contact with this person, emails, meetings, calls, all of that stuff, and then eventually I can march him through where I'm working on it. I'm not on hold, but I need to send it. Okay, so here, like a closing call. Like if he's ready for a closing call, I put an activity in there maybe, and maybe I have a special person who's like the closer, right? And then we would complete the lead. Now we've got some options now because of the changes in the CRM recent that are recent. I can create from a lead, I can create all 3 other objects. I can create any combination of 2 of them, or I can create just 1 of them. Okay, so that's kind of a new thing. If I go ahead and use that, I can convert, and it will go ahead and do stuff like this. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's choose to make it. Let's choose that option. Okay. If I choose that option, click on it here. Oh, okay. It does go ahead and give me the same thing, doesn't it? All right. So I'll go ahead and make a deal as well. What it's going to do is it's automatically going to convert it to a company and a contact, and then it's going to pull up the deal form where I'm going to be able to, I'm sorry. So I'm creating a new company. It did give me the company, the form. So I can fill in any additional information that I need here. Okay, if I have it. I'll go ahead and I'm not going to add anything to that though. Okay, and then it gives me the deal form. Okay, so it gave me the contact. I could fill in that. Then it's automatically making the company. It doesn't ask for any additional information for that because it can just draw from the contact. Okay. as I put it in. And then in the deal, you know, I can come down all the way to the bottom here and I can select some product. You know, how about that one? Okay. And so we do that. And here is a workflow that I set up that automatically informs me when a new deal has been created. Do you have to upload the product info? Well, you don't have to upload it here in the catalog. You can just create it. I mean, there are a couple of ways to put in new products. You can actually just add products, you know, on the fly. That can be done. Okay, let's get rid of some of these tabs. All right, so now I'm in the deal. All right, looks fine. And I think I must have hit apply instead of save. All right. Okay, so there, I've saved it. I've got the deal. I've got the, you know, now I can start marching the deal through the various deal stages. Right. And here, let's take a look at my notifications. So I got this notification that you know, this deal has been created because I set up, as I said, I've set up a workflow that notifies me. Andy, the answer is yes. So now I've got my deals. The deal is associated with the contact that was just created. It is associated with the company that was just created, and then of course you also have the lead back. You have the link back to the lead. Okay. Now a whole bunch of things could go on from here. Okay. So notify when deal made. This was completed. You know, these are workflows that automatically fired when a deal was created or changed or whatever. Okay, so we will get to that. Now, the quotes and invoices can be made from deals. Here, generate a quote, generate an invoice. You do that from here. I'm not gonna generate one. What I'd like to do is just show you one. Okay. So for anything you've got, whether it is a product or a service or whatever, you can put it into your catalog, or as I said, you can fill things in on the fly. In fact, here, let me show you that. If I edit this, I can add a new product right here and just say, okay, my new product is called this, and here's the data, and that'll go into the catalog right here from here. Okay. Very convenient. Okay, but sometimes it's just unique. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm selling him 1.5 eggs. Okay, you never sell that, you know, before, but you just add a row here, put whatever you want in here, put whatever you want in there, etc. All right, and just do it, and then that will not, what you put in there will not show up anywhere else. It will not show up in the catalog. Okay, just add a row. Obviously, I don't need a bunch of blank rows. All right, so quotes and invoices behave very, very similarly. Let's just hit that print. Now here I've got 2 different templates that I've set up. I'll show you what that means. But basically you can get a quote that looks something like this. Yeah, I can make that bigger for you. Okay, so here it is. Okay. And now this can be more elaborate because, I mean, you can have a more exciting logo than a cat's paw. There can be you can have an image file for the signature there, etc. But there's also there are also custom fields that you can add in this, and you can add a background image that might actually have a text box here that's actually an image, but it looks the same as everything else. So you could actually add a background image and fill this space and put a couple things down here. You can actually make quite quite attractive looking quotes, and we will go into the settings and I will show you that. Is this available on the free version? Absolutely. Everything that I'm showing you here is available on the free version. At least, no, I mean, yeah, it is. The only thing is that right now the free version has all of this, all of this conversion and generation stuff the same. There might be a couple of changes to that in the future, but at this point in time, that's fine. So I'm not going to show you invoices because they're pretty much the same as quotes. Okay, so I hope nobody gets too disappointed in that. You do have a sales funnel here with the various deal stages that we saw in the deal. And then you've got your table with your percentages and your total amount, things like this. There are two different views here. There's the standard and there's the conversions. If you open up your sales funnel and all of your numbers look completely insane, that's because you've got the conversions on. However, I would argue that this is a useful thing because sometimes you do want to know, okay, what have I got that's open that is where I've quoted it or it's closer? Okay, well, the answer to that is 70%. Okay, so and what's in negotiation or lower? Well, 37%. Obviously, close one doesn't count on that payment made. So that's the conversion does have a use, and of course you can filter this. You can filter this by your salespeople. Okay, you can filter it by when it was by time, by salesperson, etc. Okay, a lot of really reporting is available there. Reports in the CRM, okay, we've seen this before, kind of, at least this interface, right? We saw that in the tasks. You could report on deals. You can report on products. You can report on leads. And let's take a look at the activity report. Invoices as well. The activity reports tells you what your people have been doing. Okay, so it shows your sales agents, and it shows the activities that the incoming email, the outgoing email, telephone calls, etc. Not sure why this is not coming up. The last thing in the CRM, you get 10 minutes. That's quite good. Is the settings. If this thing doesn't cooperate, then we're going to go into the other one. All right. Okay, CRM settings. This is where you make your CRM do or conform to what it is that you do. Okay, that's how it's supposed to work. It's not supposed to be that you're changing your operations to fit a piece of software. The software is going to fit your stuff. Selection lists. Here are the lead statuses that we saw in the leads. Here are the deal stages that we saw in the sales funnel. Okay, quote statuses, pretty straightforward. Invoice statuses, the same thing. Company types and contact types, also useful. Okay, that's just the possible values that will be put into that field. And then here in the sources, remember in the telephony, the telephony now you can link a telephone number to a given lead source. You can say, okay, if they're calling in on this number, it's from the website. Okay, remember that from the very beginning. Back to settings. Currencies, you don't have to work in dollars or euros. You can work in whatever you want. You add a currency here. You change your base currency from the table. Okay, if you open this up, it doesn't give you the base. It doesn't let you edit that. Okay, but everything else can be edited here. Okay. Locations, taxes, units of measurements, product properties. That's all. I mean, basically, you just need to fill those in if you're going to be, using taxes, things like that. There are instructions. There's a lot of help over here. And there are some videos and some other useful things. We don't really have time for that. Custom fields, let's open that up. The important thing about custom fields is you can make as many as you want for all of these things, okay, including quotes and invoices. That was not the case about 6 months ago. Okay. And when you add a field, you can choose the data type. The data type can be a file. The data type can be a time and date. Okay, yes, no, number, string. String is, kind of like the basic one. Multiple means that you would have more than one. Okay, I'm sorry for stating the obvious, but that could be very useful for files, because it might be that every once in a while you scan a document from somebody and you need to append it to the record. Well, you can just have one new field that's like, all scans for this lead or contact, okay, and make it multiple, and then however many you need, you just keep on hitting add, okay, and it'll let you do that. I'm not actually going to add that field. Analytical reports we're not going to worry about. Payments and invoices, okay, this is where you get the stuff from for the quotes and the invoices, okay. I'm in a different demo because, as you saw, this one kind of bailed out on me. This is the, I'd like to show you in this one though, if it pulls it up. Okay, that is on a different server from yours. Okay, you won't have those problems. But remember, when I pulled up a quote, it gave me an option. Okay, so let's just edit this and we'll see what this looks like. Okay, so here is all that information that got pulled into the quote. Okay, the supervisor, here's that logo with the cat's paw. I guess I didn't have a background image, but that's where you keep your background image, and you see that can be large. All right, and then also once you've actually created this, you can show all fields, and you can put in custom fields that are parameters or properties or things like that. Okay. So that's a this is what you have to fill out if you want your quotes and your invoices to look the way that they should. Okay. Let's go back to settings. I'm going to do business processes last. Access permissions. Okay, now access permissions are based on a user or a group of users. Okay, so here like all of the people in meta sales have the role of sales manager. Okay, the role of sales manager has the following access. They can see, they can read, they can view, that is to say, contacts for which they are responsible personally or for which someone in their department is responsible. Okay, so personal plus department, personal, department, and subdepartments, and all that are open, and all. Open here meaning public. There is a toggle button in the objects that can make it so that they won't be shared. They will only be viewable by the responsible person and any administrator, and that's it. Don't worry about that too much. But as you can see, you can choose the entity, including for deals and leads, you can choose the individual stage or status. So the entity, contact, the action, read. The entity, company, the action is to update or to edit. Okay, and then exporting. As you can see, it might be a good idea to deny export access to low-level salespeople. Okay, don't want somebody just exporting the whole CRM database and doing something with it. Okay, so there are videos, there's help material for setting those for setting access. Email integration, that is for incoming emails. You can set that up for incoming emails. And then email templates, I showed you the email templates in the lead. Here is that call request response. Okay, what does that look like? Looks like this. Okay, it's chosen for the lead. I can put in various fields here. I select what field I want to put in, and then I hit that, and it gives that little macro, and then that will be replaced. Do the emails use your server or our server? When you send out an email, I mean, obviously it's coming from, it's coming from your Bitrix24 instance, which is, it's in a couple of places because we are dual hosted. Okay, but you can send it from your own mailbox. Okay, if you send an email, if I send an email here and I put my personal thing there, he's going to get a message from me, comma, and then also the email of my CRM instance. Okay, now, so let's look at business processes very quickly. I promise this, we've only got a couple of minutes left. Let's look at the one that informed me that a new deal had been created. As you can see, there is one that runs when, or there are two that run when a new deal is created. Auto run, create. Notify when deal made. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, that's all it does. Okay, it's just a user notification. Okay, and it goes, the sender, that's kind of arbitrary. I just chose user number 1. And it goes to me every time, and it just gives me that message that you saw. And that's it. Okay, now, this can do a whole lot of other things. Okay, you could say, okay, look, suppose the message, suppose the deal is, suppose the deal income is greater than whatever, okay, greater than $3,534. Okay, then go there. Suppose the deal is in euro, okay, where I go down here to currencies. Okay, suppose it's in currencies, then go that way. Okay, I can set up conditions, and then I can say, okay, if you do that, then let's make a task for, this person, okay? Or if that's true, if it's in euros, you know what? I'm going to throw in this modified document block, and I'm going to set the responsible person to my European guy, who I can pull out using the builder. You can just say, okay, there he is. Boom, just like that. Okay. Now he's responsible for the lead, and then I can, I can give him a task or all of these things. So the important things you can do here is you can set approvals. Okay, you can ask somebody, when you set the approval, you say who's going to approve it, what they have to decide about this, and then a little description, and then, they say accept or refuse, or I can say yes or no. Okay. They choose that action, and then we move on. So this is a very powerful thing. As you can see, it's got, you can set calendar events here. You can there are some videos. There's a lot of again, a lot of help material that'll work with you on this. So the last thing I want to show you is the intranet settings. This is very straightforward. Just please look at it. Don't let yourself get frustrated because you live in a country where Monday is the first day of the week. Just come in here, change it, no problem. Okay. A lot of things in Bitrix that are like that, where you really can make it do what it is that you want it to do. If you have the free version, go down to subscription. Or not subscription, my Bitrix24 plan. There is a 30-day professional trial there. Thank you very much for attending.